Small business owners and independent contractors get affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, 48-hour curfew now in effect after 6 shot in central Kingston. Dr. Dawes slams Health Minister over Integrity Commission report. Time for reform. Debate intensifies over political restrictions in public sector. Emotionally broken farmer. Another suspected death by suicide. In the business report, crime stop 36 years of rewarding service. While in sports, 17-year-old Seymour Reed makes history with the senior reggae boys call-up.
News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
What's up, everybody? Fraser McConnell here. We're in Qiddiya, Saudi Arabia for the FIA Extreme H World Cup. Behind me is my Zeroid Motorsports Extreme H car, and you can catch all of the action on CVM Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Don't miss it, all live.
FIAH World Cup, brought to you by Texaco.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of.
Seize the next IPO opportunity seamlessly with the Sagicor e-Invest.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, October 8, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. A 48-hour curfew is now in effect in central Kingston after 6 people were shot, 2 fatally, in a drive-by shooting Tuesday night. It's the second mass shooting in 2 days following Sunday's massacre in Commodore District, St. Catherine. Crystal Williams has the details.
When it's older than the year, people say them sleep till their light with the door open.
Residents of Text Lane calling for a zone of special operation checkpoint in their community following a mass shooting Tuesday night. 6 victims, 2 adults, 2 young children and 2 teenagers, one of them living with a disability.
So the disabled, the one who get shot was disabled. My 16-year-old.
Yeah, him sit down here. So
him sit down right on the step right or
cousin, yeah, and him little cousin, she get shot too in her fear and me one of the 6-year-old them.
So the 6-year-old put up her hand?
Yeah.
When you see him, when you see the boy, you show the boy point the gun for the 6-year-old?
The dog, we are back off of them.
Yeah.
The shooting happened in the vicinity of Text Lane and Charles Street in Rose Gardens, central Kingston. Superintendent Beresford Williams is the commanding officer for the police division.
A car drove up a long Text Lane. Men from that car opened fire and a group of persons who were standing and sitting in the space, then drove off. After the shooting, it was discovered that 6 persons were shot, to include 2 teenagers, 2 children, 9 years old, and 2 adults.
The shooting has left residents of Text Lane fearful.
Normally the place would have said dead like on me.
No. There's people outside.
I know why never in the area.
No.
A few of the younger victims were reportedly sitting here when the drive-by happened.
She really conflicting. And a young lady. And with them alone, they dead.
And when you say dead, so which part?
Right at the step.
Right on the step, right
at the chair, they say.
And what happened?
Chair to the right, they say. And I mean, also when nobody come out, because I pay my food. I will me the shot them know me running.
Even this community dog was targeted. It's why residents are demanding a zone of special operation checkpoint in their community.
If the soldiers them were here like before, right? Everything will be good. From the people them said they don't want the soldier them. That's why the thing be like this.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
And as mentioned earlier, the Central Kingston Police are reporting that a 48-hour curfew is now in effect for the entire police division. Commanding officer for the division, Superintendent Beresford Williams, told our news centre a short while ago that the curfew began just over an hour ago at 6 o'clock. It will last until 6 p.m. on Friday. Police in St. Mary are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of 17-year-old Raheem Smith in Cricket River, Anotta Bay on Tuesday night. Reports are that shortly after 10 p.m., Smith was attacked and shot multiple times by unknown assailants. He was later pronounced dead. In the meantime, opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, has launched a scathing criticism of the health ministry in the wake of the Integrity Commission's report, highlighting concerns about accountability and transparency within the ministry. This in relation to conflict of interest concerns in the awarding of nearly $80 million in contract from the ministry to marketing firm Market Me Consulting. Dr. Dawes was speaking on CVM's Lead Story Prime on Tuesday.
A damning report from the Integrity Commission has cast a shadow over the Ministry of Health and Wellness, raising serious questions about transparency, accountability, and the handling of key government contracts. The report, which investigated incidents that happened between 2016 and 2020, was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday, uncovering procurement irregularities and potential conflict of interest in relation to millions of dollars worth of contracts from the ministry to marketing firm Market Me. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton and co-managing director of Market Me, Lindsay McDonough, according to the commission, are believed to be friends and didn't disclose their friendship when the company received the contracts. In a statement, Dr. Tufton said, quote, "This matter has remained in the public domain for several years and at times has cast unfair doubt not only on my integrity but also on the reputations of others involved. I regret any hurt or reputational damage that may have resulted from the prolonged public scrutiny. I am, however, pleased that the IC has reported no illegality by any party involved." End quote.
What he is doing there is to put at the focus of the debate legality versus illegality, and that was not what the report brought out. There are a lot of red flags concerning the breaches that were found. And this is far from clearing the minister as he has claimed, because even though we may not meet the threshold for prosecution, there are clear procedural guidelines, there are clear ethical considerations.
Now, hours after Dr. Tufton's statement was released, Market Me, in its own statement, said, quote, "The report confirms what we have always known, that our work stands on integrity, professionalism, purpose, and excellent value for money." End quote. Now, the revelation from the Integrity Commission has ignited backlash and renewed calls for oversight. Opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, is among those leading the charge, taking aim at the health minister over what he describes as a crisis of credibility.
The other thing is that 2 contracts valued of just about $53 million were never reported to the Integrity Commission under the quarterly contract awards review. Once you have certain awards pass a certain dollar figure, you should report it to the Integrity Commission so that they can look into it to see if all is well. That was not done on 2 occasions, the 2 largest contracts. And the response is that nobody knows how such an oversight happened. And we find that pattern as well at the Ministry of Health, where it's like a free-for-all the taxpayer dollars.
Dr. Dawes went further.
This IC report has come out where they're saying that they're going to strengthen their rules and guidelines and training officers because they have been doing it without any repercussion, and we have to find a way as a country to hold them accountable.
Amoy Harriet reporting for CVM News.
There's a push this evening for the government to review Jamaica's staff orders to allow some public sector workers to run in politics. This follows the recent interdiction of Dr. O.J. Dixon, a senior hospital resident who was sanctioned by the Southern Regional Health Authority after running in the September 3 general election. Amoy Harriet reports.
Jamaica's public service is largely modeled by the Westminster and Whitehall system, which was inherited from the United Kingdom. Now, these models are built on political neutrality, where public servants are expected to remain impartial and steer clear of politics. But unlike the UK, where some categories of civil servants are allowed to participate in politics, Jamaica's rules impose a blanket ban across the public sector. Now, questions are being raised about whether it's time for reform.
How does the role of a doctor how does him carry no political activity impacts his role as a doctor?
Anil Grant is former president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association. He was referring to Dr. O.J. Dixon, a medical doctor who was interdicted by the Southern Regional Health Authority for contesting last month's general election.
Does it have that same nexus as somebody else who's a decision maker? And should we have a different standard applied to persons who are decision makers, who want to participate in political activity versus technocrats who are not decision makers? They are just delivering services. Should there be a different standard in treating with them? And I think that is where we have now reached.
Speaking on a CVM's lead story prime on Tuesday, Mr. Grant also took issue with what he described as the mishandling of interdictions in the public sector.
Interdiction and way it is being dealt with is a punishment before the punishment. He has not been found guilty. He has been charged, yes, of participating and breaching the staff orders. Allegation. Right. And so that is now to be dealt with through the disciplinary process. But until that is dealt with, he's losing pay.
Attorney at law and principal consultant at Employment Matters Caribbean, Carla Ann Harris Roper, agrees.
I think we need to address the fact that we do have our Charter of Rights, which has amended our Constitution, and there are issues that need to be tested.
Of note, there are different categories of public servants.
When you talk about public officers, you're talking about those who are under the Civil Service Establishment Act, roles that are created out of the Constitution and governed by the public service regulations.
In the meantime, the government and opposition are trading jabs, each accusing the other of hypocrisy in handling issues linked to the staff orders.
In relation to Rhoda Crawford, for example, the People's National Party never actually took that matter to court. But more importantly, there was never any action taken by the government.
I believe Rhoda was on a program. I think it may have been a program on radio where she signaled
still working with the government as a public sector worker. You never applied that same staff order to her.
So Rhoda, you have to put that question and that issue to Rhoda's employer. The officers she enumerated just now are persons who would have been employed to respective agencies. Yes, in the case of Robert Morgan, he would have been employed, as I said earlier, to the Office of the Prime Minister. Those persons had essentially signaled an interest in contesting seats. They did not go the route of... They did not go the route of... No.
Amoy Harriet reporting for CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues in just a moment.
Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty? Use your cards right, and you could be the lucky winner of an all-inclusive cruise vacation for 2 along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. The more you spend, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Visit Sagicor.com for more information.
It's time.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio?
We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Tonight, in the first of a two-part report, we meet a Jamaican man who says his life was torn apart after what he describes as a wrongful deportation from the United States in 2023. 51-year-old Rowan Campbell claims he was legally employed, properly documented, and living a stable life until one incident changed everything. Our reporter Omari Wilson has that story.
He once lived what he called the American dream, working, saving, and planning for the future. But now, that dream has fallen. Rowan Campbell sits with nothing but memories of a life he says was unjustly taken from him.
I work for a company named K Designers, and I was hired as a contractor to remove and install windows.
Campbell told CVM News he entered the United States to work legally, armed with all the necessary documentation to prove his status.
At the time, I have my work permit and it valid until 2024, and I was deported 2023.
But after months on the job, it is alleged the company refused to pay him more than $34,000 owed for his work.
The thing what happened, they tried to play it down that I was illegal, and that's what the immigration even know that I'm not illegal.
When he pressed for his money, Campbell says everything changed. He alleges that powerful interests, including police, judges, and even immigration officials, conspired to have him removed from the country. He claims that his filing to the U.S. Board of Immigration Appeals sent months before his deportation was ignored, a move he believes violated his rights.
Because my deadline was May 24th, and in this letter they say I filed May 30. This is a lie that the two judges conspired to do against me. And this one, they say they received it May 22. So I was 2 days early. So how her decision letter said I filed late, when they receive it show that I filed 2 days early.
Records show Campbell was detained on September 19, 2022 and arrested 2 days later on 4 charges: possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person, stalking, electronic communication harassment, and threats of terrorism. But Campbell insists those charges were fabricated, part of what he calls a wider effort to silence him. Back home in Jamaica, Campbell says he sought help from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other state agencies, but claims his pleas went unanswered.
And I went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from last year twice, and they refused to take my complaint. I go into the Ministry of Justice, I went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I've been calling, and I went to the U.S. Embassy 4 times. When I went here the last time was on September 30th, that's Tuesday gone.
Now, he's living with his sister, his only support as he struggles to rebuild what he calls a devastating injustice.
I have a little sister, is the one who give me a little place to stay, which now sometimes I'm ashamed of myself, but I have to just live and try to just move on.
He says the stigma of deportation has followed him since returning home, branded by names he never imagined he'd be called.
Yeah, all worthless. Yeah, and come back from foreign deported boy and this and that. Yeah, man, I play Al Buju Bantan.
The man's life uprooted, his future uncertain, and his plea for justice unanswered. In part 2, we'll hear more about the brutal experiences Rowan Campbell says he faced while in U.S. custody, and the message he has for Jamaican authorities and international agencies. Omari Wilson reporting for CVM News.
A Trafalgar Park resident is still reeling from the effects of a flooded house twice in recent weeks. While the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation KSAMC has stepped in to offer support, questions remain over what exactly caused the flooding and who is responsible for preventing it from happening again. Akeem Aret has that story.
Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, along with a team from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, toured sections of Trafalgar Park on Tuesday, assessing the damage caused by recent flooding and offering assistance to affected residents. For homeowner Nadine Thompson, whose home has been flooded out twice, is alleging it was caused from the rubble from her neighbor's backyard.
Enough things from Fiend backyard coming at my house as well. How can you have a property like and keep it like this? Look on all them sitting at the corner of this. Look over there, son. A lot of stuff in a Fiend personal yard coming at my house as well. And no matter about old people to car, washing machine, this, that. Oh, look at your backyard.
But the KCMC is offering a different explanation. City engineer Xavier Chavans says preliminary assessments point to a clogged drain running through several private properties.
The flooding was a result of a block drain that runs through private properties along Braemar Avenue. So there was a blockage between two properties. We stepped in, we had the blockage removed so the water could run off freely.
However, Chavans notes that the situation is more complicated than it appears. He says property owners who have drains running through their lots are responsible for maintaining them. But based on what he has observed, some structures have been built in ways that go against proper engineering standards.
There's no access point in the drain for maintenance purposes. So if for any reason the drain will be blocked in the future, there's no way that any personnel can go in to maintain and remove that blockage because there's no access point in this particular property on Braemar Avenue.
Meanwhile, Thompson says although she appreciates the KSAMC's assistance, her living conditions remain uncomfortable.
It's very frustrating. People that came here today, including the mayor and people from KCC and stuff like that, I'm happy about that because at least somebody came. People came. And, you know, whatever they said, it's going forward to see what they can do to help out the situation that I'm in. So I'm grateful for that.
As the KSAMC continues its assessments, residents like Thompson are hoping for a long-term fix, one that will prevent yet another flooding, washing away their peace of mind. Reporting for CVM News, I am Akeem Aret.
More to come when we return.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. When are your friend or your family? Somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
It's the Quartz Pre-Hero Day Sale, October 10 and 11, with up to 50% off store-wide. Get a TCL 43-inch smart TV for $39,999, or a Sierra King or Queen bed frame for $69,999. Massive doorbuster deals from 8 to 10 a.m. each day, including a Mazatec 9 cubic feet refrigerator for $49,999. Enjoy 30% off credit purchases on 24 months and over. Don't miss Quartz's Pre-Heroes Day Sale, October 10 and 11, with up to 50% off. Conditions apply.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And KC has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Thanks so much for staying with us. The nation is in a dark place, haunted by suicide cases. Nearly a month after the September 10 observance of World Suicide Prevention Day, another suspected case. Curlin Brown has the details.
A man will work hard. $1,000 no money a problem. A woman a problem. Love a problem.
How could the powerful protector, love, end up in the same conversation where suicide is the focus? Experts say it's complex. The relationship between these two compelling and intense action words. Upon reflection, Barrington Zumba Burrell, an uncle of 39-year-old Orlando Dussie Murray, theorizes, perhaps overwhelmed by emotions, the easygoing farmer from Craighead seemingly took a final decision on the afternoon of Tuesday, October 7.
I don't know if I talk, but Mr. Man like talking as it is, He has some man problem. See? And he loved the woman, and the woman loved him.
Was there a message in the empty wrappings from bars of soap turned upside down on steel from a building under construction, like 3 pairs of water boots washed and turned upside down? The words Lackey, his other alias, visible, unlike other scribblings. They were in clear view for all who took the trek down the many steps leading to the house across from where his body was found. Uncle Zumba says there was nothing beyond what was known 2 days before.
No, sir. Because the last time I talked with him Saturday morning. And you have some man who will, when they're stressed, they hold it, they don't say to nobody. The man, ambitious man. Me and him work line on line, close. Most of the time, I him give me lunch. Because him start one ground beside me, just plant and stick and everything. I don't know how it will go. Him have to go, maybe brother them also have to go deal with it.
The police were reportedly told a friend visiting the farmer stumbled upon his body and alerted them. The evidence, a bedroom linen used to complete the act. Meanwhile, with neighbours and community folks quietly watching the undertakers carry out their job amidst whispers of what could or should have been done, this senior relative maintains.
You shouldn't make nobody broken heart. You should keep your heart. I want a safe place and a good place.
And with therapy an unwelcome option for many Jamaicans despite the burden of trauma, this suggestion.
Man, when I have a problem here, all them have to do just move on. You can't love one woman saying can't leave you. You have to love one woman saying can't leave you. I am still be good friend, I am not there. That's how it go.
Please get help and find a reason to live. Reach out to the Jamaica Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888-639-5433. Curlin Brown, CVM News.
Crystal House Jamaica has officially opened its new science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM-focused high school in Twickenham Park, St. Catherine. The newly constructed 2-story facility welcomed its first cohort of grade 7 students in August. Minister of Education, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, says the institution's education model has yielded great results and will be tested and implemented into public schools. Carla Ramdeen reports.
The new facility forms part of Crystal House International, a global network of schools focused on breaking the cycle of poverty through education and character development. President and Chief Executive Officer of Crystal House International, David Harris, says the institution's model is holistic as it takes into account every aspect of a child's life.
From academics to healthcare, nutrition, transportation, and trauma-informed care. That is what it takes to unlock true potential. The results speak for themselves. Across our global network, 96% of our graduates secure stable, formal employment.
The institution covers tuition and provide transportation, meals, uniforms, books, and supplies, while also offering college and career counseling for up to 5 years after high school graduation. Minister of Education Dr. Dana Morris Dixon says there are plans to test the Crystal House school model and implement them in public schools.
We have to test the models, we need to look at the outcomes. And so as I listen to the results from Crystal House,
what I think about is, what about a school with similar characteristics in terms of its cohort? How do they do? How does Crystal House stack up against that? So we know that the Crystal House model is working and we can take elements of it to other schools. We've already started.
Mr. Morris Dixon says the ministry supports expansion and innovation of new education models. Stakeholders agree it reflects a continued commitment to empowering Jamaican youths and promote sustainable social transformation through education.
We also have to bring the parents into the setting more, and it's something we've had said to heart quite a bit. We have all this school infrastructure across Jamaica. Why not use it in the evenings for adult literacy classes? Why not use it for skills training classes for women and men in the communities nearby? Crystal House has done it and shown us how it can really be done well. And so that's, again, something we're working to mainstream in our system. And so when you see government supporting new models of education, it's really about us understanding what can work so we can take it back into the regular system and make it better. And we need to do more of that. And so when you hear about robotics being mainstreamed here, that's what we want to do. We want to mainstream coding and robotics in our schools so that every child can feel that they have a bit of the Crystal House experience.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Stay with us for lots more when we return.
You're craving with the value menu from KFC with combos starting at just $620. The time by KFC is 7:30.
Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty? Use your cards right, and you could be the lucky winner of an all-inclusive cruise vacation for two along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. The more you spend, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Visit sagicor.com for more information.
What's up, everybody? Fraser McConnell here. We're in Qiddiya, Saudi Arabia for the FIA Extreme H World Cup. Behind me is my Zeroid Motorsports Extreme H car, and you can catch all of the action on CVM Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Don't miss it, all live.
FIAH World Cup, brought to you by Texaco.
So glad you stayed. It's now time for the business report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today. For over 3 decades, Jamaicans from all walks of life have dedicated their time, resources, and most importantly, information to the solving of one of the country's most daunting challenges. It's said that the cost of crime is roughly 5% of Jamaica's GDP, and the impediments it poses to the island's development are myriad. However, for the past 36 years, a 3-digit number and the network behind it has made a significant step towards making crime stop more than just a name, but a civic ambition, as expressed by Crime Stop chairperson Sandra Glasgow.
Crime Stop is a charity. Our ability to offer rewards, to run our 24-hour hotline, and to launch public awareness campaigns depends entirely on the generosity of the private sector, our international donors, and concerned members of the public. The headlines are indeed correct. Jamaica has witnessed a welcome reduction in homicides of up to 44% in the first half of this year, alongside a significant decline in overall crime. This is by no means a random occurrence, but the direct result of strategic, collaborative action.
With the headline suggesting that Jamaica could be on course towards the lowest murder total in 30 years, State Minister in the newly renamed Ministry of National Security and Peace, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, highlighted the ongoing contribution of Crime Stop towards that ambition.
Over the past 36 years, Crime Stop has received more than 33,700 tips. They've facilitated and the seizure of over 909 million worth of narcotics, recovered more than 340 million in stolen property, removed over 1,000 illegal firearms and nearly 58,000 rounds of ammunition from our streets. Yes. Crime Stop has also enabled the arrest of more than 3,000 perpetrators and paid out 87.5 million in rewards.
The private sector organization of Jamaica has been a driving force behind the sustainability of the charity. However, in addition to concerns relating to a decrease in donations towards the entity, as President Mitri Siaga notes, it coincides with another potentially disturbing trend.
The number of tips received has actually declined by 24% compared to 2023. That is worrying because it tells us that fear, mistrust, or perhaps complacency is keeping too many Jamaicans from stepping forward. At the PSOJ, we have always said growth, prosperity, and investment cannot thrive in an environment where crime and violence hold communities hostage.
Mrs. Glasgow, however, reminds that Crime Stop's record of anonymity remains impeccable.
This system works because it is built on one core principle: trust. And we are immensely proud of the fact that in our 36-year history, not one of our tipsters has ever been compromised. Your continued financial support is not a donation, it is an investment. It's an investment in economic growth, as a safer Jamaica attracts more of the tourists and investors we need and motivates Jamaicans to stay and build our beloved island, and for even some of our Jamaicans abroad to come back home. It's an investment in social justice by empowering every single member of the public to play a role in their own security.
In its latest Latin America and the Caribbean Economic Review, the World Bank warned that continued insecurity raises business transaction costs and reduces competitiveness, diverting resources that could otherwise go into improving people's lives, an outcome the PSOJ continues to strive for.
Solutions to crime are not just about arrests and seizures, they're about creating pathways to hope and to opportunity. These principles, accountability, opportunity, and fairness, are at the heart of what the PSOJ stands for. Our mission is not only to create wealth, but to ensure that every Jamaican can live and work in peace.
We cannot rely on government action or community courage alone. It is the fusion of both that contributes to a safer society.
And let us demand accountability, not from criminals, but from our systems, our leaders, and ourselves.